The Bonnie Blue situation is kind of gross. So for those not in the know, Bonnie Blue is a star who slept with 1,000 men in 12 hours for her OnlyFans page. As you can imagine, it set off a bit of hoo-ha. But first off, who exactly is Bonnie Blue? Bonnie Blue is a British porn star who started off as a webcam model and then moved over to OnlyFans in like 2023 or something like that. She made a bit of a name for herself by mainly having sex with 18 or 19-year-old students. If I remember rightly, the term barely legal was thrown around a lot, which is already a genuinely insane phrase. She later supplemented her money for sex scheme by having sex with married men, of all people. The reason is wild though, because one of the students' fathers became jealous. Men. After that, her next venture was lecturers. She would go to Freshers' Weeks and like school weeks and tour around the country and sleep with the students and lecturers, quite literally advertising that you can queue up to go have sex with her for no cost. Genuinely vile human being. Now, whilst this video is about Bonnie Blue, it's not exactly where our story starts. Introducing our next character, Lily Phillips. So if you don't know who Lily Phillips is, just like Bonnie Blue, she's a British porn star who made a bit of a name for herself last year by going viral, probably literally, by sleeping with 100 men in one night. I think the term barely legal was thrown around a lot there as well, but I could be wrong. The YouTuber Josh Pieters made a really great documentary about her.
You'll be shocked as to what goes up my ass.
I'm afraid that's just a cone.
It was kind of leading up to the day, and then he spoke to her like afterwards where she broke down in tears.
When I decided to start making this documentary, I wasn't too sure of what to expect. I certainly didn't expect to see Lily so upset at the end of it all.
It almost seemed like she actually regretted her decision, but then the following day she announced she wanted to do 1,000 guys by 2025. It almost seems like these two are kind of rivals.
I'm Lily Phillips, and today I'm getting run through by 100 guys.
I literally wrote in the script, Marvel Rivals joke. It's fucking dumb. Now, I'm already recording this kind of late, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few days Lily Phillips comes out and says she wants to do 2,000 guys in one night, or 100,000 guys by the end of the year. Whilst researching for this video, I did actually find an article to say the other day she went out in public with jizz on her face, so come on. So about the actual 1,000 guys event itself. At Jet Set Gypsy on TikTok made a really great video recounting the reports of a guy who was actually there. To be honest, it sounds kind of harrowing.
A man who was allegedly at Bonnie Blue's 1,000 men experience has given an insight into what went down. He's even provided photos of the aftermath, which of course I'm going to show you, but jump scare and trigger warning, if you're eating or drinking right now, please scroll. So according to this man, who is an out-of-work security guard, went to this experience so that he could film content for his TikTok and make money from it. So please take this all with a pinch of salt. This is the room where it was all happening. Apparently she was on these beds here, just like going at it. There were loads of men in the room all at one time. It was just like a huge free-for-all, and there were men queuing from this room down the stairs and onto the street. All of the men were given a blue balaclava on entering so they could all be masked, which kind of makes sense, but also at the same time makes knowing how many men there actually were very questionable. He, for example, said he did not sleep with her. He said he was led to believe it was a one-on-one. It very much wasn't that, and he was shy and just didn't feel comfortable in this. Apparently there were people checking IDs on the door, but were they also checking STD tests? And like, how could you be 100% sure? The men would come in, take off their clothes, stand in their boxer shorts in a big line, and then whip them off at the door, go in, do the deed, leave. In the room with her, there were fluffers, which is how they were prepared for the occasion when they got to her. I still don't believe it.
I'll link Jet Set Gypsy below, but if they no longer have access to TikTok, then the page might not come up. I don't know the situation. So my opinion on OnlyFans is kind of mixed. On the one hand, I think it's great that it gives the creators the reins, per se. I think in the mainstream porn industry, big corporations is where a lot of the more direct harm comes in, because I feel like performers are probably more pressured to do things they don't want to do for the sake of the company making money. I can also imagine there's probably a lot of indoctrination of young girls in there, and it's just nasty. At least with a platform like OnlyFans, it gives the performers that individuality, that independence of a big corporation. On the other hand, it does also contribute to an industry that overall objectifies women quite a lot. That's what leads to Instagram comments like, OnlyFans detected, opinion invalid. I'd say that's a bit more where the indirect harm comes in. It just overall contributes to the misogyny behind the porn industry as a whole. I can imagine getting these barely legal men involved is going to have a dreadful effect on both the people involved and the viewers on how they view sex and just women as a whole. Now, for a slightly controversial take, I don't think Bonnie is getting enough shit for this. I see a lot of comments on like TikTok saying things like, vile men, these men are disgusting, I hate these men. And don't get me wrong, I know I am a man. I know, I'm sorry, I'd love to quit, but it's not in my nature. I will not pass up an opportunity to hate on men. I think we suck, we fucked up so much of the world. Fully respect that. I'm not defending the actions of the men involved. I just think she organized this, and this was all kind of her planning. So I really do think she needs to take more responsibility for her actions as well as the men. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe a big corporation did kind of pressure her into this, like I was talking about earlier, but I just can't really seem to find any proof of that, so I can't help but think this was mostly on her. Again, I'm not defending the actions of these men. Everybody involved was just fucking gross. I think it's just an overall gross situation. Anyway, I feel gross talking about this for the last
7
minutes, so I'm gonna go have a shower and cry. Also, I'm sorry I look like shit. I'm very well aware. It's one of those days. It's a random Sunday in January. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. I'm kind of trying to make my goal of 2025 to be making content, whether it be on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever. I'd like to make content. Bye.